In a world more interconnected than ever before, we are unexpectedly affected by things that we cannot see and things we do not know. But there is a world beyond the public eye, a place that the media tells you to fear, a no-go zone. Follow Mike, a world traveler, bringing us to no-go zones stateside and abroad, a travel documentary series that breaks barriers. Mike goes to the places that others are afraid of, where no one else dares to go, to tell their story, the story the media forgets to tell you. See the other side of places like Baltimore, Southside Chicago, Opelika, Syria, and more at MikeNoGoZones.com or Mike No Go Zones on YouTube.
I learned how it wasn't the actual hurricane that destroyed the city, but the levees breaking. After the storm passed, 3 major levee breaches flooded 80% of the city. This was a human-made disaster. The American Society of Civil Engineers called this the worst engineering catastrophe in history.
We're still here 14 years later after Katrina. We're still here showcasing what the city has to offer, what the Ninth Ward has to offer. As you heard during Katrina, you would always hear these stories about the Ninth Ward during the storm.
The worst stories.
About the worst stories.
The worst stories.
People, looting, criminals coming down there, and post-Katrina, you hear about that now, where people are like, oh, I don't want to come down, I don't want to live down there. It's crime and all that, but that's a lot of propaganda.
It is.
Prior before the storm, the Lower Ninth Ward was the population had the most homeowners, black homeowners.
Really?
In the whole, city.
And the media never once showcased that.
The media never once showcased that. And what's messed up, a lot of those homeowners weren't able to come back. Because of the destruction that happened here. Because of the water sitting here, because of the water levels, being 12 to 14 feet. Because of the levee breaking right there. Post-storm, a lot of corporations, they want to focus on, like you said, the French Quarter, the downtown area.
Sure.
They don't want to bring any of those businesses here, because they feel like the perception,
Right.
oh, we're not going to be able to make any money here. You know what I'm saying? But, it's messed up because, like I said, we had a lot of homeowners here. And there's still a lot of homeowners that came back. It's really like a neighborhood, feel,
Yeah.
The fact that the Ninth Ward is so pushed back, it almost feels like the city is trying to just, keep it away from everything. The neighborhood I'm from the east. Geographically, technically, it's under the Ninth Ward.
Right.
We don't say we're from the Ninth Ward because we say we're from the east. It's a New Orleans thing. You had to be here to understand.
Very territorial?
Very territorial, yeah, exactly. But, my neighborhood, we got the same amount of water, same here. In my neighborhood before the storm, the east was a metropolitan area. We had a mall, we had a movie theater, 3 hospitals, grocery stores, schools, just department stores, real economic opportunities for people to work, for businesses to make money. Now the east is about, in the Ninth Ward, it's about 15 minutes, because where y'all staying right now?
West Bank.
West Bank?
Right.
Okay, y'all staying on the West Bank. Okay, so this is about probably 20 to 30 minutes from the West Bank. So from the east and from the Ninth Ward, we had to come into the city now. So we had to travel like 15 to 20 minutes to go to a decent grocery store, to go to a movie theater,
Wow.
to go to a decent mall, you know what I'm saying? So they even go to a decent school, We still have a lot of schools in the Ninth Ward in the east, in the area that a lot of kids going to. Are they the best schools? I don't really know. I'm so far removed from elementary school and middle school. I do have a son, he's 6 months, but he's not ready to go to school yet. Appreciate that. So, I wouldn't really know, but I know from hearing from people, a lot of people, they don't send their kids to school, because they want, a little bit better for them, it's sad to see, but we still, like I said, as you can see here, we still coming back strong, we still here, we're still trying to make sure that, places like this showcase the real history of what really happened,
Right.
Because when you get into the back room, the Katrina history, you're gonna read a lot of stories that weren't talked about in the media.
Sure.
A lot of stories that they try to hide, and the stories that did come out in the media, only a couple of publications posted them.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Or a couple of documentaries that you had to really know about the scene, to really learn about it. So that's what we want to provide here at the Lower Ninth Ward Living Museum. We want to make sure that this is a place where you come and learn the real history and really get that real vibe of what New Orleans is about, what it has to offer. It's such an amazing place, culture-wise, history-wise.
Fats Domino.
Right, Domino,
Yeah.
one of the greatest rock and roll artists, musicians of all time. Came up in this neighborhood.
Right.
Exactly. in the next room, you know, we touch on Fats Domino. You know, we touch on a couple other people, Mahela Jackson, you know, another great artist from back in the day. You know, she originally is from Uptown.
Okay.
A lot of her roots were in the Ninth Ward. You know, we got a couple of actors from the Ninth Ward. You know, Mr. Magic, he was signed to No Limit on the Master P.
Okay.
You know, Ninth Ward artists. You know, so I mean, there's so many people. You know, so many people. Yeah.
The other clientele told me, like, if you go on Tennessee Street or Tennessee Avenue, you got the homes that Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Yeah, the last room we have a little exhibit that talk about the make it right homes.
Okay.
You know, so he did come back after the storm. Shout out to Brad Pitt for that.
Okay.
I gotta blast them right now, but they do have like a lawsuit against the Make It Right Homes right now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, so the thing about the Make It Right Homes, it was a great idea. The execution long term though was lacking. You know, so they built the homes to coincide with the environment. You know, so they real like green homes. You know, when it rains, the rainwater trickles down and filters into clean water. Basically, you know, they got like solar panels, you know, for solar energy and everything. So, I mean, the materials of the home, as you can imagine, when you're making a home like that, you know, are not as structurally sound as, you know, typical homes that are not built for environmental purposes. So, I mean, as of late, a lot of the homeowners have been complaining about the upkeep of the homes, you know, so it's a big lawsuit out. Brad Pitt has come out and said that he didn't know anything about that. Because of course, when you have organizations like this, they usually like to put somebody that's famous
Right.
on with influence as a face of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it works for him too for his philanthropic purposes, you know, whatever he had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they're trying to make it right, you know.
Okay.
But you know, we'll see. I mean, it is cool to see. I mean, I'm a big fan of architecture, you know, so there's a lot of different architectural tones.
The shotgun shacks, I'm very appealing. Walk by these old homes.
Yeah, that's traditional New Orleans architecture.
Yeah.
You know, shotgun style houses. I mean, you'll see them a lot in this neighborhood. You'll see them a lot in the Uptown neighborhood, and even on the West Bank in Old Algiers, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods in New Orleans.
Okay.
That's across the river. One of the first neighborhoods that was established. Because you know, when New Orleans was first founded, it was really just founded in the French Quarter area.
Right.
You know, it wasn't really intended to branch out to like the Ninth Ward and the East and these other neighborhoods because of we 5,000 feet below sea level. You know, the French Quarter is the highest part of the
Right.
city. You know, and it was a port city, of course.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this was just swamp area.
Yeah.
You know, before
Reclaimed land.
Exactly.
The lack of a better response from the government had plenty of blame to go around. It was clear that everyone from Mayor Nagin to Governor Blanco to FEMA Director Michael Brown were way in over their heads. The director of FEMA was appointed to his position in April 2004. While he is a well-educated attorney with political connections, he didn't have any type of experience dealing with disasters and came into national prominence with this famous quote from President Bush.
Again, I want to thank you all and Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job. The FEMA director's working 24 hours.
10 days later, he resigned. Even during the cleanup, things got messy here. Over 90% of the contracts were awarded to companies outside of the states that were affected by Katrina. The federal government handed out no-bid contracts to all of their cronies, and some people got very wealthy because of this. The media coverage of the victims was also biased. Here's an example. The first photo shows a young black man wading through the water, and the article used the word looting. The second photo shows a white couple doing the same exact thing, but the article uses the word finding. Words and images like this have far-reaching effects and influence our perception. Hey, this is Mike from No-Go Zones. I love creating and sharing this series with you. I would be appreciative if you could like, comment, and share these videos with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe.